All right, so just finishing this one off, we're looking at the reconciliation of net cash flow to movement in net debt, just a bit at the end. So we start with the increase in cash, the 64,000. That's just the answer from my cash flow statement. All right. There's one thing here we've seen before, one that we haven't. So what we have here then is we are looking at, so we have said we got 50 grand in from issuing debentures. So we issued, it's basically a loan, and we received 50,000 euro in cash. So we've looked at the cash side of that. Here we're going to look at the other side of that, the fact that I owe someone 50,000 euro. Okay, so that has got, I suppose, a negative effect then on my net position. So I've got the 50 grand in, great, in cash, but I owe it back. Okay, so that's where I'm going to look at this. Okay, so issue of debentures, and that's minus 50. So great, I've added them in to get to 64,000 because I've got the 50,000 euro in, but really because I owe it back, I haven't really improved my cash position, my overall position, my net debt position. So I'm taking the 50,000 euro away, okay, to show my kind of, I suppose, real position. One we haven't seen before, which is just, I suppose, just the flip side of this, is when I did the cash flow statement down here, I said I spent 40 grand on government securities. So I actually had to spend 40,000 euro to purchase those government securities. But I've put those in current assets. So that's me saying I could turn that 50 grand into cash quickly if I need to. All right. So while I have spent 40 grand and it's an outflow of 40 grand, and you're right to record it as an outflow and come into this 64, you do hold an asset which is quite like cash. Okay, so the issue of the government securities, we're going to add that 40 on down here. Okay, so by kind of recognizing the outflow but not recognizing the fact that I actually do now own something worth 40 grand that I can turn into cash really quickly, I wouldn't really be accurately reflecting the position of what I've done there. So in this bit here, I'm nearly undoing this 50 and this 40 because I'm really, because I suppose it's accurately reflecting the position I've put myself in. I don't do it with anything else like the increase in government or the increase in investments up here, because that's, by putting it up in fixed assets, you know, it's a long-term investment. I'm not intending to turn it into cash quickly. By putting this in current assets, I'm saying I can, and I probably intend to. So just add these three together, and that's 54,000, and that's called your change in net debt, or your, so yeah, so change in net debt. And now what I'm going to do is work out the net debt at the end of last year, add it on to this, and it should equal the net debt at the end of this year. It's just a way of checking my answer. Okay, so net debt at the start of this year, so I'll say the 1st of January. There'll be a few things I'll be adding together here, but I'll try and fit them all in a little working here. So at the end of last year, I had cash of 6,000 plus bank deposit account of 19,000. So that's what I had in cash. But I had an overdraft of 18, so that's, take that away because that's debt. And I had a loan of 150, so take that away. And if you do 6,000 plus 19,000, that is 25,000. Take away 18,000. Take away the 150 is minus 143,000. So I owed 143 grand overall at the end of last year. I've improved my position by 54 this year, so add those two together, and you should get minus 89,000. That's your net debt on the 31st of the 12th. But as I said, I can figure that out another way, and this will kind of confirm for me that I've got it right. So what position am I in at the end of this year? I've got 4,000 in cash plus 83,000 in my deposit account, plus I've got these 40,000 securities, less 16,000 of an overdraft, less 200,000 of a loan now. So let's just add those together, and I've got 4,000 plus 83,000 plus 40,000 minus 16,000 minus 200,000. That's minus 89,000. All right. Again, just as well as this is the issue of the government securities. This is me acquiring them, is why they're going up here. They're going to introduce, they are new into my net debt, but I still own them at the end of this year, is why I'm putting them in here. Same as, you know, I'm recognizing the increase in the amount that I owe. So another 50 grand in debt here being taken away. I'm recognizing that increase here as well. All right, but that's your reconciliation of net cash flow to movement and net debt. So it's just a short bit at the end of the question. So that's us done with this example.